Hello and welcome to the Circular Closet Podcast. I'm Sanjana. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode number 1, and today we're going to be talking about the power of celebrities in sustainable fashion. We all know the wide influence that celebrities have, but turns out they can use that power as a force for good. So, in sustainable fashion, it really takes one idea and one person to create ripple effects and influence new generations to have more sustainable ideas. Throughout history, we are littered with examples of celebrities using their positive influence to create more sustainable ideas for the future. Essentially, there are several ways that celebrities can use their power for good. So, one of the things that celebrities can do to use their power in sustainable fashion is upcycle. So upcycling is basically modifying your clothing that either doesn't fit you anymore or is not the current style that you're wearing, and use that and change it into something that you would use more in the future. So this can be done by physically altering the clothing. So I have a couple examples of upcycles that I did, and they have proven to actually be really effective in creating the idea of sustainable fashion and influencing other people to do it as well. So I've changed skinny jeans into wide-legged jeans because we all know how skinny jeans went out of trend. And so I didn't want to throw away all my skinny jeans. So I created wide-legged jeans out of that by cutting out fabric from jeans that no longer fit me and pasting them together, and it was a long process, but basically I was able to turn something that went out of style to something trendy and new. And that's essentially what celebrities are doing, because we all know the shelf life of things that celebrities wear is instant, because red carpet clothing is wear it once and you're done. So that's why it's so powerful when celebrities are able to show that they're wearing something for longer, because it shows ordinary individuals like you and me that we can wear clothing for longer and don't need to be worried about rewears. We don't need to be worried about, oh, we Instagrammed this one time so we can't wear it again, because you see that Kate Middleton or Rihanna wore the same thing several times, but it doesn't make it any less fashionable. So that's just a couple of examples of upcycling and what upcycling means in general. But let's move on to celebrity examples. A celebrity that I love to talk about that has made quite the splash in sustainable fashion is Kate Middleton. Just recently, she changed her fitted white gown that she first wore in King Charles's coronation, and then she wore that again this year in the recent Trooping the Color Parade. Except she modified it, and that's where the upcycling part comes in. So she changed the neckline and the belt and created something that could last longer, and that was really impactful because, of course, people sleuthed around and found that that was actually the same dress, the same Jenny Packham dress that she wore last time. That quite made an impact. And she also has several examples of doing this in the past. She wore a white Alexander McQueen gown first in BAFTA 2019, and then wore that same gown again 4 years later for the BAFTA 2023 awards. Except she modified it so it wasn't exactly the same. That kind of changed the entire look, and Kate Middleton really knows her way around how to alter dresses and make them look a little different than they did last time, and creating a different message than it did last time. And that's kind of pretty cool. Yeah, and this white Alexander McQueen gown looked very elegant, very ethereal, and something that I would want to wear again personally, so it makes sense that she would want to wear that same gown again another time, changing a little bit about it. And that's the power of upcycling. It can create something that went out of trend completely and turn it into something that's right on style, right on beat. And that's really powerful. Then another example of what Kate Middleton did is she wore a beige coat first in 2006 and then changed it and wore it later on her engagement day in 2011. So we know that celebrity street styles change a lot and people look at them a lot. Paparazzi, just you and me scrolling on Instagram or looking up on the internet what a celebrity wore, and you just see their street style a lot. So it's kind of powerful to know that they wear the same coats again, they wear the same jackets again. And that's what Kate Middleton did exactly. She wore that beige coat in 2006 and then later on her engagement day. And I believe she made it longer or shorter, and that changed the silhouette of the coat and made it look different. And that was pretty cool, that celebrities just streetwear can be the same as well, and it makes celebrities less idolized, you know? Of course, everybody still idolizes her, but just something that makes her feel more relatable to all of us. But I'm not here to only talk about Kate Middleton. There's several other celebrities that have used their position as a media figure for good, and that's including Emma Watson. One of my favorite dresses that she wore is a dress made from recycled plastic bottles in 2016 at the Met Gala. This was a really nice, long, white and black dress, and it was really inspiring. Don't ask me how she made that out of, well, not her, but she got that made out of plastic bottles. And that's really nice that she created that dress entirely out of nothing. And that speaks to show how upcycling doesn't just have to be something that you had in the past. It could be something that you created from nothing. And that's really a really impactful form of upcycling, that you turn trash into treasure, trash into something that people see and admire every day. Yeah, because I'm still talking about it, and it's been like, almost 10 years? Yeah, and then in addition, apart from Emma Watson and Kate Middleton, Billie Eilish also wore a gown that was entirely upcycled from 2022. It was an upcycled Gucci gown, and that was really epic. It had green sleeves, and it had this beautiful green lace, and it was something that people talked about for so long, but knowing that that was also made from nothing. It was made from leftover fabrics and turned into a gorgeous gown. So knowing that celebrities have that kind of voice, it makes ordinary people want to create something out of, a scrap of their shirt that doesn't fit them anymore, and create that into some, like a nice crop top they can wear today. And that's a statement that a lot of people can't say, that they turned something that's trash into their closet, that's something they love and wear, into something they love and wear every day. So seeing celebrities do that really inspires us. And last but not least, another upcycling example is what Shyla Jolie Pitt wore at the premiere of The Eternals. Shyla Jolie Pitt appeared in a dress worn by her famous mom, Angelina Jolie, for a Maleficent press conference. She shortened the dress from the dress that her mom originally wore and showed their family's commitment to sustainable fashion. Altering a full-length gown into a knee-length gown for her daughter kind of shows how sustainability, upcycling can be generational. We can change something that we wore in the past and wear it 2 years later. If Angelina Jolie and her daughter are wearing some clothes generationally. So that's really cool to see clothing being worn across generations and being altered. Of course, we don't have access to the same resources that celebrities do to alter our clothes and make them look perfect and dazzling like the first time we wore it, but we can still create projects that alter dresses from the past. And that's what I've done on my channel, and I've shown a lot of these crafts as shorts and as projects that you can follow along with. And just a simple YouTube video for, I have this shirt what to do with old t-shirts that don't fit me anymore. That can lead you to a lot of responses on what you can do to really change that t-shirt into something you can wear in the future. And that's something that we have. That's the power that we have to do. And we can do that because we're seeing so many celebrities and role models we have showing their power for sustainable fashion. So we can also create steps that are sustainable as well. And our ability to do that is in our hands. You can easily go on to my channel or several other upcycling role models and figure out how you can change those skinny jeans that you hate, or that top that you hate, that scarf, into something that you would love and wear again. And it just takes fabric and a creative mind. That's all you need. It takes like scissors and stuff too, but you have that, and that's in your power. In addition, not just upcycling, but celebrities have also shown their ability to alter sustainable fashion through vintage dresses as well. For example, this has been a very controversial example, but Kim Kardashian wearing Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress from 1962. I know this has been one that has really caused a spark. People thinking that, is it her right to be able to do that? But people have been wearing vintage dresses for a long time. This has just specifically caught our eye because it's such an iconic dress. But as long as the original dress wasn't tampered with, as long as the original meaning behind the dress and the intention behind it is still preserved, I believe it's a good way to show that tribute for Marilyn Monroe and continue her legacy into the future. And that was a really iconic example of wearing vintage dresses, but there are so many other highlights in 2024. For example, Bella Hadid in Cannes wore vintage Versace. This was a really pretty yellow dress. In general, the vintage trend is really a powerful and meaningful way to create sustainability into the future. And it's really cool that that's something that's been normalized, wearing old dresses, because that's like, there's so much craft and care put into each one of these fall or winter collections, and it's really nice to see that being taken forward into the future and being reused as a tribute to the old dress. And that's why I support that so much, and Bella Hadid looked absolutely stunning in her short yellow gown. And then in addition, in the Vanity Fair's Oscar party, Jennifer Lawrence wore the fall-winter 1996 Givenchy dress. This looked very formal and elegant, and it really paid a tribute to the original crafters that made it by showing it now. In addition, at the very controversial Met Gala, there were also a lot of vintage pieces involved. Not so many, but enough to make a statement. So Zendaya wore the vintage Givenchy gown with a vintage floral headpiece by Alexander McQueen. And I'm sure you've seen that dress several times, but although there's mixed opinions on the dress in general, I believe that it's very nice to see a tribute being made to a vintage Givenchy gown. And the fact that this dress didn't cause any new, like apart from alterations and stuff, it didn't cause too much new labor and new fabric. And we know that celebrity gowns take a lot of time and care and cloth, and the environmental impact in general is a lot, but seeing that these vintage gowns are being used really puts the past into the future, and it takes a snapshot into the past. And that's a really beautiful thing to see, especially seeing Zendaya and other very popular celebrities wearing these kinds of gowns. In addition, last but not least, we have Kendall Jenner's 1999 Givenchy dress. She wore this at the Met Gala, and I'm not sure if you all knew, these two dresses were from the past, from 1999 or even before that. And I really loved Kendall Jenner's black gown, which this gown really showed her care into the future, and it just looked very nice. So when looking at all of these celebrities' outfits, it's important to see what kind of changes you can make in your daily life. So this podcast will later be talking about what changes you can make in your current life to show that you're committed to sustainable fashion. And these can be very little or cheap things that you can do that really make an impact on fashion. So it doesn't have to be expensive, but just being mindful about your environmental footprint when it comes to fashion is something that is so important and not talked about too much. So subscribe to this channel and look for future podcast episodes if you want to see what impact you can make on sustainable fashion and turning your voice into something powerful. And just like I said before, seeing something in your closet that you hate doesn't need to mean it needs to go to the trash or donation right away. You can see what you can create from that. Use your creativity and see what you can transform that into, because as we've seen, so many examples of celebrities turning trash into treasure, and it's so meaningful and powerful for you to be able to do that too. It takes crafting to a whole nother level, and it's difficult, I agree, but there are so many easy one-stop upcycles that you could do and other ways that you can incorporate sustainable fashion into your daily life. And again, follow this podcast for more tips on how to do